Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian from BG 90 Day. All right, what I'd like to get in today is an exercise video. Okay, so we're back in the gym today. What I'd like to do is get a quick warm-up in and then incorporate some very basic equipment. Okay, this is going to be posted in my exercise group on Facebook. I've been focusing on a lot of nutritional stuff, so I figured this would be a good time to maybe get an exercise video in there. Kind of the point of the group is to take out any roadblocks in your path. Okay. So what tends to happen a lot is, okay, I want to start implementing exercise, but I can't get to the gym. I don't have one by me. The one by me, it's too expensive. Okay. You need a home game then. Oh, well, I don't really have any equipment at home. I tried, it didn't work. I don't know what to do. Okay, so the group, we can take that all out of the equation. All right, so today we're going to be using some very basic equipment. This is stuff I'm actually getting for my sister-in-law. So we have some just basic TheraBands here, okay, and some gliders, okay. Not everyone's going to have, $3,000 to outfit an entire room of their house. Okay, fine. Let's not use that as an excuse. Okay. So bands, all right, these are going to cost you maybe 10 to 15 bucks. Okay. Gliders, about the same. Okay. Chances are you got 20 or $30 somewhere laying around. Go pick this stuff up. Let's knock this workout out. All right. First thing we're going to do, quick warm up. And then this is really our body weight, and this equipment here is really all we're going to be using today. Okay. All right. So let's get cracking. Okay. So first thing we're going to do, very basic. We're just going to go some marching steps. Okay. One of the first big movements that we're going to get into is going to be a reverse lunge on those gliders. Okay. Those gliders can really, I think, up the intensity on those lunges, make for a very efficient workout, promote some stability, all really good things. All right. So all we're trying to do is get the lower abdominals engaged a bit, get those hip flexors firing, hit those feet up and down. If we want to get some blood flow to the upper body, we can kind of hit some of those arm movements as well. Okay, now another one I will get into now is just kind of shifting I'll tilt the camera down in a second, but let's just get moving kind of side to side. Okay, so let's take this down here. All right, so we're going to go nice big feet here. Okay, if you need something to grab onto, you can. Okay, just kind of start to get some of those quads, glutes turned on. We're going to need those for the lunge. Okay, all right, so that's good there. Let's get one of the lighter bands out now. Okay, so let's hit some up and overs. This is one of my favorite warm-up exercises, very basic. We're just trying to open up the chest, let those shoulder blades kind of squeeze together. Okay, I'm trying to keep this thing even. A lot of times you can see faulty movement patterns. People maybe have one arm bent. Okay, so if you have access to a mirror, that can make things a little bit easier. All right, we're looking for about 10 here. Okay, and then another thing I like to do, especially when I'm doing horizontal pushing, which that's going to be one of our first exercises. Okay, you don't have to do this on your knees if you don't want to. I like to squeeze those shoulder blades together. All right, normally 10 to 12 is normally good here. And then another thing I'd like to make sure we hit, is, once again, especially when we're doing some type of horizontal pushing, is the rotator cuffs. All right, so some W's are normally good for that. And I'm using the light band here. Okay, you can see in just a couple of minutes, I can feel the heart rate's up there a bit, body's warm, I got some muscles turned on. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna get one of our gliders out here. Okay, now the trick to a reverse lunge is to try to load the front leg, and that's where the glider can kind of be beneficial. Okay, if I'm coming back, I can't have a lot of pressure on the glider because I'm gonna lose my stability. Okay, so I would say this can be a tool to make the exercise a little bit easier from a technique standpoint, but also a little bit harder from the intensity standpoint. Both are good things, okay? So I'm gonna get a little closer to the camera just because I'm on my platform here. I don't want to fall off the back end, okay? But I think it's also important that you're able to see my feet. Okay, so I'm gonna load my front leg. I'm gonna try to get 6 of these on each leg. All right, so if my knee comes forward, tracks over my toe, that's fine. Okay, I'm trying to get probably 80 to 90% of my weight on this front leg. Okay. All right, so that's around 6. I'm simply going to switch legs now, so I'm going to load my right leg here, let my left one come back. You know, only 10, 20% amount of pressure on that at the most. These are the muscles I'm trying to hit right here. Okay, and these things supposedly work well on carpet too. So if you have to like work out in your living room, these things will still work for you. All right, so let's let the legs rest now. Okay, we're going to now give me a horizontal push. Okay, we did 6. If you want to just keep it at 6, that's fine. Okay, so it kind of depends where's my fitness level at now. If like 6 push-ups, I can do push-ups, but they're hard. Okay, you don't need anything. Okay, we just make sure our elbow angle is correct. We don't want to be flared out to the side. We don't necessarily need to be up against our rib cage either, although you can. Okay, we kind of want to be in between with our elbows. All right. Now, if you're someone that can do like sets of 10 or 15, you're like, how do I make this harder? Okay, well, you can use the bands. Okay, so I can put this band across my back, and then I'm just going to kind of trap the ends of the band on the ground. And then as you come out of the hole, you're going to feel more intensity. So this can kind of load the triceps typically a little bit more. All right, so I can go right here, and I'm hitting the same movement. Okay. And I'm just kind of pushing myself into the band. That way, we can keep everything efficient. We don't have to do 70 push-ups. You know, I don't have to do sets of 25. Okay, this is just a light band here. Okay, you can double the bands up. Okay, that way, as you progress through your month, you can add a little bit of volume, but you don't have to do 5, 6, 7 sets of 25. It's like that's a lot. Let's get to the point already. Okay, so we want 6 push-ups. If we need to regress and go from our knees, maybe I can't do a push-up yet. Okay, so let's go 6 from our knees. Or it's like, no, I can do them, but they're really hard for me. Okay, you probably don't need anything. Let's just focus on our technique. 6 good old-fashioned push-ups here. Or no, my upper body's strong, it's my lower body that's weak. Push-ups are fine for me. Okay, use the band, make it harder. We want 6 high-quality push-ups. Okay, so now from there, we don't want to totally roast those muscles because we're going to be using those in some capacity next. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into a prone position. Okay, I can be upright, top end of a push-up, or I can be in like a plank position. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to have some abductions. I'm going to work my hips and my abs, have my upper body support me. I'm going to go 6, bringing my foot out to the side, okay, and then pulling it back into the midline. So I have my foot on one glider here. Let's say I choose to get into the upright position. Yeah, you should be able to see still. Okay, so my hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to bring this out, glide it back in. Okay, kind of emphasize the abs a little bit. Okay, let that hip move a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, we'll just kind of keep it simple. 6, 6, 6. want to be able to run this tricep, I would say at least 3 times to start, okay? The name of the game is focusing on the technique, high quality movements, and then as we progress through the week, as we progress through our month, we can progress ourselves, okay? So we don't need to like, that's part of the reason I said come up with this group. People that don't have money for personal training, what do they normally do? They normally go to like some boot camp and they're just going through all the movements terribly because they're in a group with 15 other people. They're getting tired and sweaty, but they're not really accomplishing all that much. They're not really training. They're just like doing random things like 60% correct. All right. Let's try to really get it right. Okay. Focus on just a few movements. So that was 3. Okay. We'll run that a few times. Okay. Get a pump in those muscles. And then let's move on to something else. Okay. So I would start out, if you're just kind of getting back into things, just run that 3 times through. Okay. And once again, focus on your technique, high quality movement. Okay. So now from there, we can get into, I go into a heavier band. We'll start working some different muscles now. All right. So, people probably heard of a hinge or a deadlift. We don't need to go if you don't have active. Oh, well, I need a bar for that. I don't know how to do one. I don't know my grip, my stance. I don't know. Okay, you don't need to go there right off the jump. Maybe you're working out at home. Okay, we got some bands. We can still hit the movement. We're just using a different tool. Okay, so I would go to your heavy band. Okay, we're going to push our hips back. I'll give you the profile view here. Okay, so here's my upright position. Think shut the card over with your tailbone, but keep some tension in your back. And I have my grip on my band here. So I got a nice little stretch in my hamstrings. Hips are above the height of the knees. Okay, shoulders are above the height of the hips. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't want to be like this. Okay, I don't want to be like this, like we're not squatting. Okay, so I'm upright, hips back, tension in my core. I'm going to push my feet into the ground, stand up tall. Okay, so we're going to try to hit 10 here. Okay, now I would say there's a few things you can do if this is one of the lifts that you'll be able to do the most weight of if we were doing weight. The technique is probably the most challenging. Okay, but you're going to need some resistance here. Don't use the light band for this. Okay, if it's too light, if I can barely feel it, you can choke it more. That would be one way. Okay, or double it up. So I can take my 2 heavy bands, and then your progressions are real easy then. It's like, oh, okay, I started out, I was just doing the heavy band, 3 sets of 10. By the end of the month, I was doing 4 sets of 10 with both bands. Okay, or who knows, maybe all 3 bands. And you just, this is what it would look like with this straight ahead approach here in terms of our view. Okay, so just a little bit of tightness in the back, abs are filled up with air, hips back, push the feet into the ground, hips forward. That's the most complicated, in my opinion, of all the primal movements. So if we can incorporate that, even with just some bands, I think that's a win. All right. All right, so now we'll go just some basic pulling here now. So I have my medium-sized band here. I'm simply wrapping this around some type of firm structure. So if you're like working out in your basement, you got like a hole in your basement, okay, that'll work. From here, I would go a kickstand stance. Let's go big chest. Think palms to the rib cage, shoulder blades and shoulders kind of back and down. Okay, as you start to get heavier, you might notice the pressure in that front foot. That's a good thing. Okay, and we'll go same thing, everything sets at 10. Okay, so let's say I get my 10. We want to be emphasizing the squeeze of the shoulder blades together, trying to pull with our back as much as possible. From there, let's step on this thing like we're about to deadlift. Let's see if we can get a 10-second hold here. You should feel your abs turn on. Okay, you should really feel it in those biceps. Okay, you're just going to count to 10. Okay, so that's two very basic trisets, sets of 6 to start, then sets of 10. We're getting pushing, we're getting pulling, okay? We're getting another primal movement, lunging, okay? We're doing some stuff for our abs, okay? As well as we're getting everything, okay? Push, pull, lunge, hinge, core work, abduction, big movements, okay? We're not isometric. We're getting an isometric hold at the end. We're checking off a lot of different boxes here. It's not about the equipment, okay? What it's about is technique and consistency. If you have good technique in your lifts, you have a good program, you have consistency, you're going to win, okay? You don't necessarily need, $3,000 machines and, $175 a month gym memberships. Like if you got all that stuff, great. It's not necessarily necessary. From there, once we've established that, we just need progressive overload. Okay, this stuff's very easy to progress. Okay, I think that's the name of the game. So I'm going to be posting this in the group. Also, I'm just going to leave this one up there on YouTube. If you are interested in potentially getting into the group or would like to hear about some training options, you can find me on all the socials at BG90 Days, my handle, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Facebook a lot. Instagram, like I said, I'm also just got on TikTok a little while ago. So come check me out, give me a follow, DM with any questions about anything. And if you don't think you quite maybe have money for personal training, but you just like a little bit of guidance, a little bit of like group style coaching with also nutritional support, that's really what the group kind of focuses on. But I'm also cool posting workouts. Obviously, you're going to get results a lot faster if we can start incorporating exercise. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll get this posted as soon as possible.